Okay, so let's get right into it. Have you ever been watching a video and almost without thinking, you just have to hit subscribe? Well, there's usually a really powerful, kind of invisible script at play. And today, we're going to make it visible. We're going to break down the communication formula from a pitch by the channel Studyranker, and what we'll find is a playbook for persuasion you can start spotting everywhere.
It all kicks off with this one little line. I know the grind of studying. That's not just a casual hello. It's a hook, a really strategic one. In just 6 words, the creator shows you they understand the problem, they create empathy, and they basically tell the entire audience, hey, I get you. I've been exactly where you are right now. And just like that, it stops being a lecture and starts feeling like a conversation.
So, how does Studyranker take that initial spark of connection and build a fire? Well, that's what we're going to unpack right now. We're going to dive into the classic formula they're using here, and we'll break it down into 3 core pillars. You'll see it forms this repeatable and, honestly, incredibly effective playbook for persuasion. And here it is, the playbook in its simplest form. It's kind of like a 3-step dance. You have the promise, the proof, and the ask. First, you make this really compelling offer that solves a real-world problem. Then, and this is key, you prove you can actually deliver on that promise. And finally, once you've done all that, you give a super clear call to action. So let's see how Studyranker just nails every single one of these steps.
All right, let's start at the top with step 1, the promise. This is where the magic really gets going. You see, after hooking you with that relatable problem, the studying grind, the creator has to offer a solution you actually want. They have to answer that one big question we're all thinking. Yeah, but what's in it for me?
And what's so smart here is that they don't leave you guessing. They literally ask the question for you. So, what can you expect? This is such a brilliant little move. It signals, okay, we're done with the problem, now here comes the solution, and it perfectly sets the stage for a nice, clear list of benefits. It's a direct promise to deliver value, right there on screen.
Now, what's really interesting here is that the promise isn't just one vague thing. It's a 3-part package deal. Think about it. Fresh videos every day. That promises consistency. You can rely on them. A community of rankers, that promises support, a sense of belonging. And my favorite, real results, no hype. That promises authenticity and, that this actually works. Altogether, they cover all the bases for a student who's struggling.
But look, a great promise is just words, right? To really get someone on board, you have to make them believe you can deliver. And that brings us to the second, and you could argue the most important part of this whole playbook, building trust. You have got to back up your claims with some solid proof. And here's where the script makes a really clever pivot. It shifts seamlessly from what the channel is going to do for you to why you should believe the person behind the channel. This is what we call the credibility play, and it's where the pitch gets its real muscle. And boom, here's how it's done. This isn't some generic I did well story. The detail here is everything. Scoring top after failing mocks. That little phrase transforms the host from just some expert on a screen into a mentor you can relate to. It's a super powerful piece of proof that says, not only did I succeed, but I overcame the exact same failure you're probably afraid of. That builds trust in an instant. Okay, so we've had the promise and we've had the proof. Now it's time for the final move. The step that turns someone who's just watching into someone who's part of the community. The call to action, or as we call it, the ask. At this point, the creator has earned the right to ask for something, and they do not let that opportunity go to waste.
The ask starts with a very clear goal, but listen to the words they use. It's not, hey, maybe consider subscribing if you feel like it. No way. It's smash that subscribe button. Using a strong, high-energy word like smash just creates this feeling of excitement and urgency. It's a confident instruction.
But it doesn't end there. A smart creator knows that just getting a subscription isn't enough these days. So the second command is to hit the bell. This is a layered ask. It takes the commitment one step further and makes sure you actually see those fresh videos they promised earlier. It creates this awesome feedback loop of engagement. And then the final touch. The last part of the ask, drop a comment, is all about building that community, which, if you remember, was one of the core promises. It also gives them amazing feedback. It's a prompt that basically says, this isn't just my channel, it's our channel. So tell me what you want to see next.
So when you put all those pieces together, you get the persuasion playbook. It's this really elegant 3-part strategy. First, you establish a problem and make a promise to solve it. Then, you provide credible proof that you're the one who can do it. And finally, you make a clear, layered ask to get them to take action. Promise, proof, ask. It's that simple, it's that powerful, and it's crazy effective.
Now here's the most important thing to get. This formula is everywhere. It goes way beyond YouTube study channels. You'll see it in movie trailers, in every ad for a new phone, you'll hear it in political speeches, you'll see it in startup pitches. It's pretty much a fundamental structure for how we persuade each other, just perfectly adapted for our super fast-paced digital world. Now that you have the playbook, I promise you're going to start seeing it everywhere. Promise, proof, ask. So the next time you're watching an ad or scrolling through your feed or even listening to a presentation at work, just ask yourself, are those 3 steps in play? Where will you see this formula next?